Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you what we're using for our third 6 weeks of school. So, let's get started. First off, for our read aloud, we are going to read Hatchet. So if you've watched some of my past videos or my read alouds for the year, we're staying on track for Hatchet. So we're really excited about this. And we will use the Brave Writer Arrow Guide that goes with it. So that's how we'll get some language arts in for the third 6 weeks. We'll also be reading Road to Serfdom. It's part of the Tuttle Twins series. You need to check these out. I wasn't sure at first if my son was going to like them, but we truly enjoy reading these, and this is the one we're going to read for this time. So I have a link below if you want to check them out. This is the Top Trumps National Parks. I'll explain to you why we're using this in just a minute, but if you haven't checked out the Top Trumps games, I think your kids would really like them, and they have them for just about everything. Harry Potter, national monuments, whatever. We use one for North American Wildlife with our North America unit. It is such a fun game, and so this is going to go with what we're doing for this third 6 weeks. So I definitely recommend you checking out Top Trumps. We are also continuing with our government unit study. This is the mini unit from Gather Round Homeschool. We're taking it very, very slow. We do one lesson a week. It is a mini unit, so it does have 20 lessons, but the lessons are shorter, and the amount of work the child has to do in their notebooks, their student notebooks, is a lot less as well. So we're taking it really slow. I think we're on lesson 11, but we're truly enjoying this unit, and I think it's an appropriate time to be learning about our government. So you may want to check that out. Now, before I get into what unit study we're using this third 6 weeks, just going to go ahead and put it out there. We are Gather Round lovers. We truly are. We've been using it for over a year, and we love it. But here's the thing. I had originally planned to do Oceana this third 6 weeks, but then I decided I wanted to do the Christmas unit from Gather Round again this season. I wasn't originally going to. We did it last Christmas. It made for a wonderful Christmas season, but I didn't see the point in repeating it. Well, you know, Rebecca and her team are revamping it, and they've added to and taken things away. And the more I thought about it, and the more I thought about our Christmas season and how much we enjoyed it last year, I'm like, you know what? That's what I want for our December. It was such a relaxing, wonderful time with family last December, and it was because of that unit, you know, pausing all the other curriculum and just doing that Christmas unit. So, hear me out. We are going to do the Gather Round Christmas unit in December and then until Christmas, and that will end up that time. So I had November to think about. Last year I did Space, and we started Space, and then we paused it, and we did Christmas, and then we had to pick up Space again in January, and we just weren't that excited about it. Going back to it from where we'd been working on it in November, I didn't want to do that with Oceana because my son had been looking forward to it. And so I didn't want it to be something that we dreaded when we were starting back in January. So that was on my heart. Do I stop? Like, do we start it and then stop it into November and do it again? Or do we rush through it in November and try to get done? And I didn't really want to do that either. I don't want to rush through it. I want to enjoy the unit study. So while I was sitting there having this going on in my head, what am I going to do for the third 6 weeks? My son came to me, and he, Sean has been showing an interest in learning survival skills, and he's asked about camping and all those kind of things. Well, I had already planned for his elective for the third 6 weeks to be survival. I had bought a book for it. We were going to read Hatchet, so I'm like, yeah, if that's what you want to learn about, that's fine. He even asked, does Gather Round have a unit for that? And they don't. They don't have a wilderness survival unit. That's a good idea, though, for all those boys and girls out there that want to know how to survive out in the wild. So there isn't one for us to pick from. So I said, if you're truly interested, I can come up with a unit study. Now, I was a teacher for 13 years, and we planned units and themes, so it's not like a huge deal to me. I'm very used to it. Is it time consuming? Yes. It does take some planning and some thought, but I was up for it. And I was like, that'll be perfect because it can fill November for us, and I can do Oceana when we start back. So that's what we decided to do. we decided that we were going to do for the month of November, we are going to do a survival skills. We're actually calling it Survival School. And we are going to learn survival skills, things about the wild. We're going to get out in nature because we live here in the South. And it's finally time that we can get outside and not sweat to death, to just be honest. Fall here is very pleasant. There's not pollen like there is in the spring, so you can actually get outside and enjoy yourself before it gets cold. So we are going to get outside. We're also going to take this time to learn about national parks. We're going to learn about camping. We're going to do all of that, and I'm really excited about it. I was excited to actually get to plan something for my son. So you want to make sure you hit the subscribe button because my next video is going to show you how I put together this unit study, and I can help you plan a unit study as well. It's going to be like plan a unit study with me, and I'll show you what I did. So let me show you what we're going to use for our survival school. First thing I did was made him a notebook. I just bought some clip art off Teachers Pay Teachers, and I do have a map in here because as we talk about the national parks, we are going to put them on the map. That'll be some extra geography, so we have that going on. I also have in here, if I can turn the page, a hiking scavenger hunt. This was a free printable, and I'll be glad to leave the link down below in case you want it. We're going to kick off our unit with a hike to get us outside and to kick off this camping survival unit. And then I also included just a lot of blank pages because I want him to put down what he wants to know from this unit. So anything that he thinks is important, he can log it in here. So that's why there are blank pages. And then in the back, I did this with some clip art that I have. It's called Park Snapshots, and as we talk about each of the national parks, he can draw pictures and write about the things he's learned about each of the national parks that we talk about. But the majority of the pages are blank. So he's going to have this little notebook to use as we're learning about all of the wilderness stuff. Some books that I already had that we're going to use, and it's really helping me teach. Now, I'm not reading these books from front to back, like cover to cover. We're using this as resources. Like, you know, there might be certain pages we need for each lesson. So we're not just going to sit here and read the whole book, but this is going to help us teach the survival skills and the wilderness stuff we want to know. So this is the Bear Grylls Survival Camp, and then I also have Extreme Planet. So this will be some of the main books that we use to learn this information that my son's interested in. Another book we're going to use is the Ranger Rick's Travels National Parks. I looked at a ton of different books. I looked at a DK book because I do like DK books, but it just didn't have a lot of information in it. And then I looked at another book that was like full of information, but the pictures, they were not real photographs. They were like drawn pictures, and I wanted to see real pictures. So I found this online, and I think it's going to be an excellent way to teach about the national parks. I also picked up these books. This is the Plantopedia, because my son, when I was asking him what he wanted to know about plants that he could eat out in the wild, plants he needed to avoid. We're also going to do kind of a leaf study. We're doing all kinds of fun things. So I picked this book up. And then this Junior Ranger activity book, just for the fun of it. There's quizzes and word scrambles and different things like that because he was interested in the job of a park ranger. So we are going to have this book as just a little activity book. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to show you their website so I can make sure that you're much more informed about it. The last thing I'm using is this camping unit study. This is called With the Skills of a Camper, and it is from, look how beautiful, it is from Campfire Curriculums. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but they reached out to me earlier in the year, and it was right when I was in the middle of finishing Human Body and starting North America. So I went to their website because I'm really, really picky about just people sending me stuff. Like, I don't want to share stuff if I'm really not going to use it. So I went to their website and I was like, oh, you know, this girl loves unit studies. And so I was very pleased with what I saw. And they were willing to send me one for free. They're PDF downloads. You cannot buy them in print. They're PDF downloads. And they were willing to send me one for free to try out. And so at that time, I emailed them back and I was like, Right now, this is not going to work with what we're doing, but could I get back in touch with you our third 6 weeks, because I believe that camping unit would go perfectly with our elective, because at the time it was just going to be an elective. So I got back in touch with them and told them I was very interested. I'd looked at their website. I loved what I saw, because you know I love a unit study. And so I was like, yeah, I definitely want to try it. Now, I kind of feel like I'm cheating on Gather Round. I mean, I do, because I love them. But we're just taking a pause just till Christmas. I'm coming back to you, Gather Round. I'm just taking a little pause, and I'll pick you up again in December. We're going to try this out. So they were super friendly and super easy to work with, and you sent me this one to try out. It was a download. Everything downloaded nicely. These are extracurricular unit studies, and when you get the download, you're going to get a teacher copy. You're going to get high school, middle school, and elementary. So you'll get all of those PDFs. And what I did, I didn't print it from like cover to cover, because I took what my son wanted to know. I didn't need everything, because this is meant for like the end goal is that you've planned a camping trip with your family and you go on the camping trip. And right now we're just not ready for a camping trip, because my husband does not want to travel right now. So we're not quite ready for a camping trip. So what I did is went in and pulled the things that I knew would fit into our unit study. But the great thing is I have the PDF, and when we're ready for that camping trip, then I can go back and use this again to help us get prepared for it. So I'm going to show you more about this. I'll be talking about it in our unit study video that's going to come up real soon. And then, of course, I'm going to review it at the end to let you know what I liked about it. So I'll just show you a few of the things I printed. I printed this one for the forest, because there is a leaf and tree study that is going to go perfect with what we're learning. And then, of course, things like how to stay warm and how to stay dry when you're out camping. You know, there's hands-on activities, how to filter out your water. I pulled anything that my son had shown interest in and told me, hey, I want to learn this. I want to learn how to build a tent. I want to learn how to find water. And so I went in and pulled the things I could find out of that unit study and put it in here so that I can pull it and use it while I'm teaching him in November. This is all about how to build a fire, what could go wrong, what to do when things go wrong. It was a great, complete unit study. It's only intended for like 20 minutes a day, and it's mostly intended to get the fathers involved, which I think is wonderful. My husband does work. He works outside of the home, and he is gone the majority of the day. So by the time he gets home, he's tired, and he probably is not going to want to teach this from front to back, and that's totally okay, because you can make it work any way you want to. You don't even have to do it 20 minutes. It's whatever works in your family. So I'm going to be teaching the majority of this, but I have talked to my husband and said, hey, can you help me with these parts? Can you work on building a fire? Because I can't do that. I'm just telling you right now. I could build a fire, but containing it and all that, no, I can't do stuff like that. So I'm going to get him to teach us, and I want him to be here when all those kind of things happen. So it is intended for like the dads to get involved and the family to sit around, and everybody has their notebooks. And it's just a good quality learning time for everybody in the family. And this is meant for your family to have an adventure when you're done. So I definitely want you to go check out their website. I'm going to link it down below. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get anything if you click on it. So I just want you to check it out, because they are going to offer so many great things. If you go to their shop, you can see what they have out right now. I know they have a Thanksgiving unit. They're also offering a Christmas unit, and they have a couple other things out. There's like an emergency room. Oh goodness, what's the other one? Pirates maybe, or Islander. I'm going to show you their website, because I just really want you to check it out. So another thing I really liked about it when I was just flipping through it is there are faith talks in there, so they do relate it to the Bible. There is some, relating it to the Bible. And then there's also this lessons learned at the end of every lesson. It goes over and tells you all the different things that you went through, like safety, auditory, kinesthetic, family activity. It lists everything. And then your faith talk and family focus, never letting the fire go out in your heart. So the lesson was about starting a fire, and then they relate it to the Bible. So it's wonderful. So, of course, I haven't got to do it yet, but I'm excited to try it. If you want to see another one besides camping, and I don't mind doing a flip through and showing you what I've printed. I have not printed the whole thing, but I don't mind showing you what I've printed. But my friend Rachel at 7 in All, she shares the emergency room one, and you definitely need to check it out. So I'll link her channel down below so you can go check her out. But we're really excited to try this out and try out Campfire curriculums. I think it's going to help so much for our Wilderness Survival School unit study. So I want to show you Campfire curriculums really, really quick because I don't want to make this video super duper long. So let's look at Campfire curriculums. All right, here is their website, campfirecurriculums.com. They also have a YouTube channel, and I will link that in the description box as well. But let me show you just really quick because I want you to come check this out for yourself. But I'm just going to show it to you really fast. So at the top, there's a home, about, all their products, the categories. So you've got tons of things you can check out up at the top. This is going to tell you the story of Campfire curriculums, how it works, and why they chose the name. If you just want a short version, they are Charlotte Mason-inspired extracurricular unit studies that span all ages, pre-reader to adult, so that your whole family can use them together at home. So if you love unit studies, this is excellent. There's job shadowing, skill enhancement, and life experiences, all the while growing closer as a family and closer to God. So that's their short version of what they are. All age journals are always included. There's a lot of different contributors to the units. There's Charlotte Mason styled lessons, and there are faith talks in each unit. And so there are 3 categories for the units. They have Through the Eyes of, which gives the kids a unique type of job shadowing from home. With the Skills of is where you create family bonding through skills enhancement and adventure. And then in the Steps of, where you dive into unique world experiences and take your family to places you might not have ever gone before. So they're awesome. I'll go ahead and show you what's available right now. There are free samples. I'm going to show you their products that they have right now. There are memberships. If you want to become a member, you can check that out, or you can just buy individual units that have been released for 2020, 2021. So you can click on any unit to see the contributors and the description. So like I mentioned, there is an emergency. We're doing the With the Skills of a Camper, but here's one for Pirates of the Caribbean, In the Steps of an Islander. Coming out really soon, October 31st, is With the Skills of Home Defense. They do have a Thanksgiving unit out, and then the Christmas unit will come out November 15th. So I definitely want you to come and check this out and see what they're all about. I'm really excited to use it, and I hope that you are excited about it too. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions about the things we're using for our third 6 weeks, leave them down below, and I'll be glad to get back with you. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we got great things coming up. We're going to be planning a unit study, and I'll be sharing all kinds of wonderful things with you over here on this channel if you love all things homeschool. And as always, thank you so much for watching.